हेलो गुड इवनिंग एवरीवन। कैसे हैं आप लोग? कैन यू जस्ट लेट मी नो if I am visible? Can you see me? Can someone let me know? Okay, okay, we will start. So, hope you all are doing great. Perfect. So, this is second episode of Empowered Hearts, right? We started this a month back, and you know what is Empowered Heart. I have explained already, but I will again do it for the new viewers. Empowered Heart is an effort to build a community who are focused on emotional wellness and taking responsibility for themselves, helping them to address all their questions. Emotional health is very key to our life, just like our physical health. That contributes to the overall wellness of us. That I believe, as in this 2025, we do understand the importance of emotional health. I will not preach that, but there are challenges still we face, because of which many times we don't come out to take help, and many times we are also confused that what is happening. So Empowered Hertz is a platform where you can get all these answers without any judgment, and you can get these live answers even if you are watching this video later. You can ask your questions on the comments and we will answer that. So Empowered Hertz is an efforts from Sattva in our wellness. So what we do at Sattva, let me briefly tell you. At Sattva, we are focusing on emotional health, where it is a place where we don't judge you and you are the priority here. We are here to transform your future. Our discovery sessions are always free. Feel free to leverage that, through which you can really get a clarity that what is happening and how therapy can help you or it cannot help you. So, with that, we'll start with the question and answer today. I will take up few questions which I already have, and in the process, as we get any live questions, we will address those. So, let me see which questions we have already. Okay, so this is one question which I received as, even I do all preparation for my meetings, I stumble while presenting in meeting room. Why this happens? How can I overcome? Okay, so let's understand this way. So when you say you are prepared and you are well prepared about the topic what you want to present, that means you are already having the skill sets, right? So but while presenting, something is happening which is stopping you. Now, what normally happens is, suppose I tell you this word injection. So what comes to your mind? The word injection trigger you maybe an image or a thought of a pricky needle, right? And from the pricky needle thought, you get an emotion maybe of fear, afraid, right? And from there, your response is, no, I want to avoid this or I don't want to do this. So, what I'm trying to tell here is the first comes the trigger, where I'm trying to say the injection, this word, the sound of injection, which when you hear it is a trigger. A thought comes in like a pricky needle. It drives the emotion of fear, and from that fear, we do the action. So, this is the how our mind process the trigger till the action. Now, when you say that you are already prepared but you're not able to demonstrate it in the meeting, it indicates that there is some trigger which is creating that feeling of hesitation, right? So normally what we can do is we can do a thought restructuring very effectively in this case to help you. What a thought restructuring does is, suppose looking at the meeting room, people sitting in the meeting room make you nervous, right? Maybe the first thoughts comes in within you as, will I able to get tell everything what I prepared, or will they buy in my idea, right? And from there a hesitation comes in, and that stops you maybe to give in your best. So what we can do is, we can't change the trigger because the meeting room going to be like that, the people are going to be like that in that meeting room, right? But we can rephrase this, like when you see the trigger, when you see the meeting room, then you realize that you have done your preparation at the best, or then you realize that your idea has an incredible value and you should go and present it. So by practicing this simple thought restructuring, you can, overcome this hesitation. Many times these thoughts are also, visual, and there are very effective ways like suasion NLP, which we can, really do. And maybe in few minutes you can see, how it can transform your thoughts with the trigger. So hope that helps. The Okay. The next question is interesting. How does hypnotherapy works? Okay, so there are many misconceptions about hypnotherapy. Let me bust it a little bit that how we work. So we really don't tell it is a hypnotherapy. What we do is, within a hypnotic stage, we work with different modalities. It has an eclectic approach. When it's eclectic approach, it is a the modalities from CBT, from DBT, from NLP, and many other processes which we can combine, and we can work with the client. Now, why hypnotic? So let's understand one thing. I will take the earlier example, the questions what he answered. So consciously, the person knows that they are well prepared, but when they're entering that meeting room, they are facing this hesitation. Right now, it is not happening at conscious level; it is triggering from unconscious level. Hypnotic or hypnosis is a very effective way actually through which you can connect to the unconscious, and something what is happening at unconscious level can also be corrected or healed very effectively at unconscious level. That's where the hypnosis comes in the picture. So through hypnosis we use eclectic approach to help you, and this approach is not very much you know process driven. It is process driven, but it's not very much you know what how we can explain, like we have to follow these steps only. It is not like that. It is very much fluid, and which gives a very good um ability, so that irrespective of what client needs and what they go through, we can work through them. For example, suppose we are working with a client in a with a simple thought restructuring process, and at that point of time they felt some threat or some past experience through which they are gone into very deep emotions. At a hypnotic stage we can delayer that, and we can address that very effectively without even very stuck to a particular process, uh, but focusing on the end result of it. So that's how it works. In hypnosis, another misconception I want to burst here. Many people think in hypnosis you lose the control. The fact is, no. In hypnosis, rather, you can control your subconscious. You can be in more control with your subconscious. You can control your subconscious in very much more effective way. So I hope that answers that question. Let me check if there's any live questions. Okay, no, not yet. Uh, so if you have any live questions, you can please ask. Okay. Now the next question what I received is, yeah, it's years now I have lost my close ones, but not able to be as before. Is this normal? Okay. Now this is very I think it's very common, right? We, being a human being, we go through a cycle of birth and death, and we lose people in our life. We lose people whom we love, and it is immense pain. It is one of the very strongest emotion what we feel, grief. It is just like love, anger. Grief is very very strong. Now, normally what happens is that coming out of this grief takes time, and that is for the fact it is not like it happens just within a day or two. However, if someone is stuck in this grief for a long time, which is not able to actually work for them, or becoming dysfunctional for them, where they're not able to do their normal things, they're not like before, they're not able to accept it and move ahead well in their life, that is when the problem gets started. So let's understand how this can be worked out, people who are facing this. But before that, let me answer the second part of this question, which says that is it this normal? uh, I mean, yes, it is normal, but yeah, you can come out of it. Let's understand the different parts and how the grief process work. So the moment we hear that we have lost someone, or even something, the first thing which comes to us is denial. No, it can't happen, right? Oh no, it may not be true. The first thing comes is denial. The moment we understand, yeah, it has happened, the second thing comes is the anger. The anger can be on that particular person, on self, on the authorities, on someone else, anyone. That how this has happened, how why they have allowed this to happen, why they didn't did something. The anger comes in, and when the anger comes in, then it comes sadness or depression. When the anger settles down, one can't stay in anger for a very long time, and then comes the sadness or depression. Once we navigate through the sadness and depression, then we try to find out the bargain to move ahead, how to recover the loss, how to go ahead in life, and then we slowly start to accept it, and then go ahead, move ahead in life. This is a normal process, and it may take few days to few weeks to few months for someone, and that is totally normal. However, if someone is stuck at any this stage, like you may see some people that they're in a denial that no, no, this has not happened. Do you remember this movie Mohabbat? It was an old movie. I mean, old from this generation perspective, but it's a 2000s movie where there's a scene where Amrish Puri was, you know, very much denial of that his son is died. His son was in army and he has died, whereas his son, his daughter-in-law, and every family member used to play like this, that no, the son is there and all those kind of things. So that character got stuck in the denial process, many times in anger and depression. Now this sequence what I told you is not very much sequential. It can happen one, so from denial to anger, anger then denial, or maybe sadness then denial then anger. So this can be jumbled. That can happen with different people different way. uh, so, how to help people who are stuck in this? So, what we normally do is we start working with the person. We try to understand that what can be a bargain for them to go ahead in their life. But many times they know the bargain, but they're really not able to focus on it. For example, someone losing very close one may know that yeah, there are other family members, there are other who are very important. They need to leave for them, but they're not really able to do that. So what you do is we take them in a hypnotic stage where they go back to the incident at the point where they are just received the news of this dismiss of the person, and go through the entire thing, and slowly we take them through this all stages of emotion. And when then we go into a process called hypnodrama, where we release the anger, release any guilt, anything coming in, and then we start ask them to focus on that aspect of their life where there is a meaning for them to live ahead, and slowly they come in a peace with this. And this is an amazing process which can within a few sessions people see the changes in their thought process on this. Many times there is a guilt that okay, I cannot be normal because someone I love has been gone away, how I can be normal. So this guilt also sometimes stuck people in a particular stage, depression, anger, or denial. So we in a first stage we can release those guilts and help them to go ahead. Let me go to the next question. Okay, I think there's a live question like, do you work on anger issues management and how does therapy can be helpful? Okay, so anger issue management, yes, the hypnotic the therapy what we do in a hypnotic stage can be very helpful in anger. So again, as I mentioned earlier, anger is triggered with some trigger. So there is a trigger, and there is a thought coming from the trigger, and from that thought we get this emotion of anger, and then we express that anger. Now, expressing anger for someone can be outbursting, shouting, hitting, maybe. For someone might be getting very quiet. Just leave anyone, close the door, and be like with them. The expression might be very different, but still, it can emotion can be anger. So normally, what we do is if there is a uh, trigger and we know the trigger, then we again do the thought restructuring. For example, okay, for example, let's take this example again, and I think suppose you look at your boss face and you get angry, right? You enter it, and just as you look at your boss face, you get angry, and the thought comes in. So you look at your boss face, you get angry. So if we go through that, the first thought may be coming in that who made him a boss, right? So you look at your boss face, trigger, who made him a boss is your thought. That lead you to the emotion of anger. And then when you are doing a conversation with him or entering to the cabin, you may do all sort of things which you really regret later, right? So what we do is we again restructure this, like the trigger remains same. You can't change the boss face immediately, right? You may be, but at that point, this point of time, you may not. So when you look at your boss face, then you realize that he can be a boss, I can be too. So the emotion from anger converting to a motivation in this case, right? Uh, and again, if there is something more deeper, we can work. We normally delayer this emotion, starting with that, and there might be a past experience. So I was working with a person who has a tendency of having very conflict in relationship with their managers. And when we delayered that, what we observed that in a very early childhood, around 7 8 years of age of the particular person, there was some authority has done certain things with that person at that age, which that person could not resist, and as that person was very young, and that emotion is playing a big role whenever this person, even as a grown up, working with any person with authority, it's not going that well. So we delayer, we go back, we do those regression therapy, and we release those emotions. But only releasing sometimes is not important. We also need to replace this with the new learnings, and how with this new learning you can navigate this. So we also do a process called anchoring. So anchoring is a very effective process where we anchor empowering emotion anywhere. Suppose you want to, instead of anger, you want to feel calm, so we anchor that calmness so that whenever you feel anger, or you're in a position where you can feel anger, you can recall that. But even more to that, we identify certain triggers and help you in a hypnotic stage to go through those triggers and observe yourself that how you are more calm than before. So that helps a lot, because when those triggers happens in reality, in people's life, uh, their unconscious already have gone through that particular trigger with a calmness, and the unconscious recall that, and they can become more calm. So that's how we can work on anger issue. And this is very effective, I would say, on changing our emotions, and through the changing our emotions, changing our actions. I hope that answered that question. Okay, so I have another question. It feels like therapy is not working for me. I'm not going to my counselor anymore. Does it really works? Interesting questions. Question. Okay, so if it's not working for you, it is not working for you, right? Let's accept that first. But there might be several reasons. It doesn't mean that the counselor whom you are working with is not capable. It doesn't mean that there is something you are not doing because of which it's not working. Many times, the combination is very important. That what you need and how you are connected with your counselor or therapist, how they are connected with you, and how process is going on, and how the client is giving a feedback, continuous feedback to their therapist. So therapy is not a magic. Therapy is basically a journey on which you and your therapist are going together by exploring the things. Now, let me explain you it in this way. Suppose you go to a medical practitioner, like a MBBS doctor, right, with some of your complaints, some of your symptoms, and the doctor gives you, say, five blood tests, one X-ray, and you go to the lab. You do this all X-rays, blood test, and out of this five blood tests in one X-ray, the doctor observed there is one parameter which is not in control, which is creating the symptoms. And they give you a medicine and eventually you get cured. Now, this is pretty much straightforward, right? At times, they see that all these parameters are also in control, but still there are symptoms. They give you additional investigations, right? And even if they're not able to identify, they may refer you to someone who can understand this case more better. So this is the exploration process even in medical case also. However, there we have much more established techniques through which you can identify the root cause. In case of therapy, you and the therapist are still on exploration journey to understand what is happening, because you come up with the symptoms, right? Symptoms like I cannot sleep, symptoms like I cannot go and talk to the people, symptoms like I am very much afraid of something. And then the therapist start working with you by exploring, by working with you one layer by one layer. And sometimes it takes time. You may feel, okay, this is not working, but if you speak with your therapist, they know that there are other tools through which they can help you. And if they think, no, there are not other tools in my kitty, they might be knowing someone to whom they can refer you, who can help you. So to answer your question, does therapy works? Yes, therapy works. Uh, does it work every time you start it? Maybe, may not be, depends on the therapist and the journey you are in. But a feedback mechanism is very important. Consistency is very important, not a magic. It takes some time, definitely. So if you have gone to a therapy, you've gone with the willingness, with the hope that you want to change, give it a time and it will change. Another thing what I would like to bring here is, in this context, is many times what happens is a financial thing comes into the picture, right? Definitely, therapist will charge you. Now, typically, we think, okay, we have paid like for five sessions and we're not really seeing that much results. Talk with your therapist that what is happening and what next you can do, because that the investment what you did for your five sessions might be very negligible in comparison of if you stay in this emotional state which is not working for you. That may lead you to more financial situations which you will not like. So many times we don't think in that way. We keep those things in our mind. We keep on struggling. Many times this emotional issue also convert into our medical issues. So there are a lot of linkages, like how anger, stress can lead to blood pressure, kidney diseases, and liver diseases, and so on. So my recommendation will be, If you have taken the decision to go to a therapist, which you should if you are facing emotional issues repeatedly, don't come out of it. Talk to your therapist. They may be able to guide you through that process. The more you give them feedback, the better the process would look like. Okay. Okay, I think there's another question here. Can it help knowing the other person's perception? Sometimes in a relationship, the other person expects to love him or her in their way. How to deal with it? Okay, very interesting question. So, if you have seen some of my earlier videos on love languages, you may I have where I have spoke about different love languages. So, this question has basically two part. First one is, can it help knowing other person perceptions? Yes, definitely. It helps a lot when you know other person perception, because most of the time we think from our own perspective, and it is not necessary that the other person will think and understand our perspective, because they are independent human being. Uh, how do we do that? We have a process called perceptual positioning, where in a hypnotic stage we go back to that conversation where there might be some confusion happened. We first understand our own perspective, our own feeling, then we understand our partner's feeling, or the other second person's feeling and perspective, and we don't stop there actually. After realizing our feeling, the other person's feeling and perception, we also come out and look this entire situation as a third person, because many time a third as when we look at a situation as a third person, taking ourselves out of that situation, we get a very good learning that how it can be better, and that gives us a good learning. And then with that learning we try to again have the strategy that how to have that conversations more effectively by understanding it from the other person perspective and also from the third person perspective. The second thing, part of this question is, sometimes in a relationship the other person expects to love him not in their way. How to deal with it? And I think the only way to deal with it is to understand that how they love. They understand the love from their perspective and start doing it. For example, there are different love languages, right? So first one is spending quality time, then word of appreciation, gift, then it is your touch, physical touch, and also act of service. These are the five uh, love languages. So someone may prefer or may understand love when someone gives them a gift. The gift doesn't mean that the gift has to be very of high value. It can be a very small flower, it can be a small chocolate, or it can be a big car, whatever it is. But getting a gift means feeling loved by them, right? And for someone, maybe word of appreciation is kind of understanding that this other person is loving me. If someone tells me that, hey, you did this work very well, that means what may feeling that, yeah, this person loves me, there's a reason they're appreciating me, my work. For someone it might be spending a quality time, uh, and for someone it might be just holding hands. So many times we observe that in public, some couples are there. This is something I have witnessed some time back when I was traveling in a bus. This is like young couple sitting on there, and I'm just observing them. And now this girl was just holding the hand of the boy while in the conversation. The conversation was going very good, but the moment the girl touched the boy's hand in the bus, the boy withdrew the hand. And when the boy withdraws the hand, the expression of the girl's face changed after a couple of times. In this case, maybe just holding the hand, the physical touch, is expression of the love language for the girl. But when for boy it may not be. When the boy moved it away in a hesitation, being in a public bus, the girl may feel unloved, and it was very much evident in their face. How you can do it? So normally, what happens is uh, people do communicate. But how do people communicate? They complain. If you observe their complaints, little bit. in a more understanding way, you may able to understand what is your partner's love language. They may complain, hey, you don't call me. They may complain, you're not after coming from office, you're not giving me time. uh, that means spending quality time is their love language. So if you can start doing that, that will help a lot uh, for them to feel loved. uh, they may tell you something like this, that hey, you don't do the household works. You're not going and getting this. I've told you like 3 days before, you have not got me for this. Act of service may be a love language for them. So this is the primary five love language. There, like any language, has many dialects. Love language is also very many dialects within act of service. For example, act of service. Suppose you are doing all the work which is outside your house. So those things are you are doing already, like act of service. But the expectation or the love language for your partner is that I should get help in my household work. So even if you do everything like paying the electric bill, filling of your vehicle, getting the groceries from outside, that may not feel like a love from your partner. But even doing the dishes in the home may feel like a love for them. So that's how it works. I think there's a follow-up question, so that we have to take therapy together for the part. Okay. Uh, yes, it is very much recommended that both the partners should take the therapy together. But if the one partner is not willing at the start, uh, whoever partner is understanding that a change is needed, they can start with the therapy. And because when you change yourself, the other person also try to see some changes in you, and they also slowly start changing. The process might be a little bit slower in that case, compared to when both the partner comes. And but even if one person is able to you know start the therapy, that also helps. But it is always recommend if both the partners are coming for a therapy, that works quite fast. Okay, I hope that answered the question. Let me take another question. Okay. I am having social anxiety. Can it be cured? Okay, let's understand what is social anxiety a little bit first. So there's a difference between social anxiety and shyness. Shyness is quite normal. Like okay, an introvert. Some people are introverts. Some people are extrovert. That is quite normal. So many time, there are people who are shy to come out in the people, but they don't feel to coming out. But if they have to, they don't have that much of problem. They are still okay with that. But when the people are suffering from social anxiety, they plan their entire life around that. So they actually literally plan that okay, there is this birthday party, I have been invited. What excuse I will give to my friends and family that I will not be there? So they may suddenly fall sick, they suddenly have a headache, they may suddenly get some urgent work somewhere else as an excuse. So they all plan these things. So they plan their entire life around to ensure that they are not exposed to any kind of social gatherings, a crowded area. That is when it is dysfunctional, because that limit your life, right? How do we work with that? We against So our approach is pretty much simple. So what we do is we start understanding what the client has came for. We convert, then we ask the client to summarize that in I feel I wish statement, just to summarize this. And when the client able to do this, they really feel good. You know why? They understand that their problem of their life, which is maybe the biggest problem of their life, they are able to communicate that into a one line of I feel. And that is really a ray of hope for them, because it is very helpful for them to see that their problem they are able to communicate in one line. Then we come to I wish, what outcome they are expecting. Now, then we go to the future, because when you go to the future is basically a detailed description that how their life looks like when they are actually achieving that outcome. That is very important, because unless you know the future, how we'll work for it. Okay, so then we identify uh, the task what they need to do. So for a person in social anxiety, maybe future is that they will going to the parties, they're doing a network, and through those network they are getting some good job, good opportunities. But right now they're not going to do that, right? Because they are not going to go into that crowd. So the task would be to go, into a, maybe seminar, into a meeting room, meet people. So we find out the hindrance. Now hindrance can be of these three types of hindrance: skill, resource, and mindset. In mindset, there can be thought, there can be beliefs on limiting emotions, or there can be some past experience. So we work with one by one. So anchoring is very effective, and thought restriction is very effective. Working with the trigger and restructuring the thought, and then anchor the empowerment feeling with them is very much effective. If someone still feels okay, fine, I was feeling very afraid earlier to go, now don't feel afraid, I can go, but after going there, still I'm feeling something. Then we start delayering that there might be some past experience of which we of the core issue. We reach out the core issue, then we resolve the core issue. So like that, social anxiety can be worked upon very well. Is it possible to come out of a phobia? Okay, this is very interesting question. You might have seen people living with a phobia for their entire life, right? Someone has a phobia of life, some sorry, of lift. Someone has a phobia of height. Someone has a phobia of water. Someone has a phobia of darkness, and so on. There are, some of the phobia of crowd basically. Some of us have a phobia of traveling, in a plane or something things, and these phobias affect their life so much that many people don't, someone having a phobia of lift, they will prefer walking the stairs maybe up to sixth, seventh floor, but they will not enter the lift. So that way their life is getting impacted. And so, but first let us understand what is phobia, right? So there is another element to phobia, that is fear. So what is the difference between fear and phobia? So fear is generally rational. For example, uh, I am, I have climbed through under construction building, and I'm at the edge of the under construction building, and I am afraid that I will fall. That is quite normal, because if we don't afraid, so this emotion is protecting us from actually falling, right? So that we will come little bit, backside. We're not at the edge of the under construction building. However, if you are an civil engineer or you're an architect who has to go there, who has to go to age, this fear may not be working for you. This might be a dysfunctional for you. So we can work with this fear. However, phobias are irrational. When I say irrational, the client also know that whatever expression I am giving is not rational. Not irrational from the therapist perspective, irrational from the client perspective only. For example, uh, let's take the example of the lift part. So the client knows that everyone is going through that lift. They are reaching to their floor. Nothing is happening. If I go, I will also reach there. However, they are not going to do that. So consciously, they know that entering into a lift and traveling through the lift is okay, and their fear is not rational. But when they're trying to do that, they're not able to do that, and the fear is like 10 times more than the normal fear. So this is what is phobia is. So how to work with this? So phobia is one of the intense negative emotion, or intense dysfunctional emotion, I would rather say. No emotion is actually negative. And the way we work with the phobia is through disassociation. uh, Double decision, actually we create a lot of safety space around that. We help the client to be in their most empowering state by anchoring their core state, by disassociating them from the particular event. Then slowly we ask them to go and observe the event, and there are a lot of safety precautions in this, because the moment they feel a little bit uncomfortable, they can withdraw, they can come back again, go. And through this, slowly we help them to reprocess the experience through which about which they are having this fear. And after this process, when they are able to do that in a hypnotic stage at their unconscious level, then the game change. Once now the unconscious mind knows one example or two example or three example, because we do this multiple times. So there are multiple examples got created in a repetition in their unconscious mind, where they could have handled that situation very well. Now when they are going to do it actually in their life, the unconscious mind knows what is the alternate response, and the unconscious mind bring that alternate response, and they get benefited out of it. So that is, I think that helps. It's very interesting. If someone is suffering from any phobia, believe me, it can be cured. You just need to take that step to make it happen. Okay. It is, I think, almost 41 minutes, and with this live, let me see if there's any other live questions, or else I will take one or two more questions here. uh, okay. Uh, this question is: I really don't feel to be, intimate in my marriage. This is creating some problem. I want to, but when it's we come closer, it start. I can't participate. I don't know what to do. Okay, yeah. I think this is very important to question for any couple, basically, because intimacy is a very important part in a relationship. At times, people withdraw, right? They don't really don't feel like. And if it happens like once in a while, that's perfectly fine. It happens with everyone. Everyone, sexual intimacy cycle is not same. Someone fails it every day, maybe. Someone fails maybe once in a week, once in a 2 3 days, and that's perfectly fine. There's no abnormality in that. Neither feeling that every day, neither feeling that in some days. There's nothing wrong in that. However, if it is happening repeatedly and every time, my recommendation will be you first consult a doctor, a medical doctor, and check if there is anything, any medical reasons behind that. Many times, due to some medical reasons, also people are not able to get intimated. Uh, if your doctor uh, investigate you and tell you no, this is because of, not because of any medical reasons, it might be some mental state or some stress or something, and it can happen with both the genders, maybe male, female, both the genders. If your doctor tells you no, this is not a mental issue, this is sort of not a medical issue, there is certain things happening because stress, try to be relaxed, and you tried that and still you are not able to do that, then you should come for a therapy. So it, what we do is, so normally in case of, mostly in case of females, it happens because of some past experience, some past experience which has triggered some unpleasant experience for them, maybe at childhood, maybe not exactly with them, but they have heard something from their friends or families, or they have witnessed something. Because of that, there is some emotions, deeper emotions, which they may or may not aware of even, and deep rooted in their unconscious. Because of that, they may feel freezed, or not interested in intimacy. In case of male also, there are reasons, can be past experience, but also can be more stress. In case of female also there can be stress, but these things can be really worked upon through delayering, the inner child healing, and then there are ways and means to relaxing. There are a lot of techniques to make you relax during the when you're coming, and you can learn that techniques. There are ways to, if there's any particular one incident happened, that can be re-imprinted. So there are a lot of ways and means to do so. But first suggestion would be consult a doctor, understand from them if there's a medical reason or not. If not, then take a therapy. Even if there's a medical reason, and there can be a combination of reason also, like there's a medical reason and then there's a stress also, so you can also consider therapy along with your medical treatment. That will always help you. So it is almost 45 minutes now. uh, Let me see if there's any other questions as of now. Okay, so maybe we'll close it for today now. So thank you very much, whoever has asked, the questions, and I could have able to give you some answers, some perspective. If you're seeing this video later, not in a live, feel free to ask the question, any questions. If you want, you can reach out us at sattvainnerwellness.com. And if you want to have a one-on-one session, our discovery sessions are absolutely free, where you can get a clarity that how the process work, and what you can expect from this process. Please feel free to leverage that. It will only take you your 60 to 60 minutes of your time, but you may gain a lot from that. Uh, and follow us. If you're not subscribed us yet, please subscribe us, please follow us. That motivates us. Very soon we are going to have a retreat, and stay tuned. We will have more announcement about this. The retreat is going to be really very empowering and fun. In next few months we'll have that, so stay tuned for that. Have a great day, great evening, and great weekend ahead. Bye bye, take care. Thank you.